So I'd like to speak a little bit about the grace of creation and the fundamental misunderstanding, both. So out of the unmanifest, absolute, unchanging beauty of the self, what was given birth was creative expression. And out of creative expression, what was given birth is unique expression. What is called the soul. The soul is the center of the light body, subtle body. That branches out infinitely and interconnects with everything. Soul is not a separate individual, it is not separate. Yet it is the unique flavor of you in the expression of creation. And it enables there to be relationship, soul to soul, self to self, which is this unspeakable celebration. The thing about the soul is it's not an individual. There is a uniqueness to it, but it is not an individual. There is nothing separate in it, and it finds itself everywhere. Intermingling with flavors that also are everywhere, and the mingling is this incredible celebration of the grace of creation. And then there is the programmed mind-body mechanism, the flesh in which karma is carried. So this pure light of being, which is everywhere and still carries its unique expression, comes into this creative play and becomes identified that I am this computer program, this mind-body that has pre-programmed karma. And then we go on this mission after having these tastes of this misunderstanding of this separate one seeking to discover the nature of yourself, which along the way is tasted many, many times. Over and over again, tasting the nature, and then the re-identification returns. And throughout all of this, there is a fundamental, foremost misunderstanding that is carried through this process. That I am the individual seeking to discover the truth. But the truth is, there is no individual. There is only the self. In the grace of creation, there are flavors, but it's all the self. The forgetting is not an individual that forgot. It is the light of the soul, which is immersed and interconnected with everything, a flavor of the self that comes in and inhabits this computer mechanism. And as a result, there is the forgetting. The individual did not forget. There is no individual. There's not a you that forgot. The you is a myth. It is the flavor of the self that has always been the self, that as a result of coming in and inhabiting this program has forgotten itself. There is no you to forget. It is not my journey. You can never find the my. You can never find the I. You can never find the thinker, the chooser. There is totality, and out of creative expression, these unique flavors, and then there is inhabiting this machinery. And the result is this aspect of what is unified forgets. And you are the potential to bring back self-reminding. You not as an individual, but you as a flavor of the light of the self. You not as in time, but you as in the timeless nature of yourself. You not as in a doer. The doer is an imagining of an individual that can never be found. There is only totality. And the grace of creation is the grace of relationship. Relationship is total exhilaration, celebration, and the journey is that these beautiful flavors of the unchanging absolute come into this play, inhabit this flesh, and forget. So this idea that I have this mission, that I have these challenges, it's all illusion. These are the challenges that are faced by the aspect of the self that has forgotten. There's no you in it. How could there be? Look and see if there is a you. Furthermore, there is no past in it. Look and see if there is a past. There is no chooser in it. Look to find the chooser. You are the unique beauty that is none other than the self in its particular expression. That is eternally here and eternally now. Receiving the wisdom and beauty of the various sages. This receiving is not bound by time or location. It's everywhere. Yet each sage has its unique flavor of the same thing. It is not that there is a separate I that has forgotten who you are. You already are only the self. It's all there is. The simple feeling of it is the self-reminding, is the celebration, is the beauty. These minuscule stories of my life and my future it is irrelevant and has no true substance. It's a program. On the one hand, out of this creative beauty, this unspeakable celebration offered, and on the other hand, the challenge of recognizing reality in the face of forgetting. But it's not a you that has forgotten. You are the self. You are eternal. You do not do something wrong or right. The you is a myth. Reality, so obvious, is now. Now is always now. The feeling is the feeling of life. You can say your life, but what is the your? It's the feeling of life. There can be these thoughts and sensations and emotions that I am on the journey to really participate in life. But anything that is referring to someone is just a fabrication. There are particulars based on the machinery of the organism, which really is just a machine. You are the potential conduit for the aspect of the self, the unique flavor that is the self, to remember. And remembering is this moment. It has nothing to do with the identity. It has nothing to do with content. It has to do with being. Which is everywhere. As soon as it is felt, you can feel it becomes enlivened. The deeper the falling into it, the more enlivened it becomes. Whatever the particular story may be, it's always repetitive. No matter how important the mind may say it is, it's all mechanical. No matter how intense the experience, it is always occurring to a phantom that is not there. And then there is the pure joy of reality, the beauty of what you are, the love that is your nature. Love feeling itself gives birth to happiness. Happiness intensifies the light of the soul, which then fans out infinitely interconnecting with everything. You are pure happiness. Can you not just feel this? Unbounded. Eternal. You are so alive. You are life itself.
So I feel it right now, and whenever I've done deep retreats, I start to have a really hard time existing in this three-dimensional situation. And I start to feel almost a dissociation, like when it feels like I'll be, like even here, I'm coming in and out of actually feeling connected to this interaction. Does that make sense?
If it's the feeling of disassociation,
It's a feeling of,
if it does not feel good and rich and it feels hollow and
it feels
flat,
separating.
it's
Yeah.
disassociation. On the one hand, it doesn't matter what comes up. Everything that comes up is old and it's going to pass. Everything purges through the system that has been entrapped. When disassociation is happening, it is the same thing with anything. You just remain still. The thing about disassociation, as strong of a feeling as it can be, it's occurring within the computer program. It has nothing to do with eternity. When you are in connection with yourself, you are fully participating in life. It is wildly alive. The relationship with the doer falls away. The mind can spin these fear stories, and then that distracts the attention. It is to stay with what is alive and just to be patient.
This is one called Who Am I? Who am I? Dip your heart in the golden question, and the ocean of knowing will yield its nectar. What has always been you will disrobe, will unveil itself, so you may marry your beauty, your singular truth, so you may become that one love that has waited lifetimes, that has never, ever abandoned you. Fall into me, lay down the past, let your mind be free of its shackles, so you may shine as that light, O illumined one, your very birthright. for eternity.
What is the feeling of I as opposed to the story of I? What is the direct taste of the feeling of myself? Does this feeling have a beginning? Does it have an end? The world of definition appears within it. Like last night's dream. A mechanical show that appears and disappears. Within the feeling of I. But what impact does any story or sensation have upon directly feeling I? The more this is felt, the more alive all of the stories. It is all simply the matrix. A habitual addiction that is preconditioned. But there is no conditioning in this moment. There is the feeling of I. How I am doing, how I see it, what I am doing. It's all just phenomena. That is appearing within the feeling of yourself. There is nothing to do, for there is no doer. There is no progress, for there is no time. Time and progress appear like last night's dream, always to a character that is just conditioned tendencies. but the heart is ripe. The beauty is ripe. The aliveness is ripe. The taste of what is free is ripe.